pay you, he would say, well, then give me back my shirt. It was his shirt. But it's not Harper's Canada. It's not Obama's the United States. There's no bill of sale. There's nothing. There's no agreement. Whereas that condo that I used to live in, you know, where they made you paint the windows the same way or the walls, whatever, you bought the house, it was in the contract. Your turn.
I like the comments that the gentleman in the yellow shirt made about that. I'm very interested in knowing how you feel about how do you actually, I mean, it's good to talk about these things at your level, and at the students' level. It's an intellectual discussion at the university level, but don't the changes have to start in the public, the school system? The school system is seriously biased in favor of governmentalists. And by the time we get them at the college level, you're getting people that are so steeped in governmentalism that your impact is very limited. And to bring about the kind of changes, wouldn't our efforts be best spent at the public school level, so that the kids starting out, whenever they start out, very few of them are taught anything about freedom. The biggest god of all in public school education is democracy, and that's what they're just inculcated with. And if you do that, how do you do that? You start with the Milton Friedman incrementalist. Well, let's start with vouchers, and let's just make vouchers universal, and make the voucher spendable anywhere, and get close to that. Or do you call for the abolition of the whole thing, and basically be branded as a nutcase and never have an impact?
Well, that's a very, very important question. You know, if I had $100 million and I could spend it any way to promote liberty, how would I? Would I put it in the public school, or rather elementary school? Would I put it in the middle school, grades 7, 8, and 9, you know, kids 12 through 14? Would I put it in high school, college, graduate school? I'd probably put it in graduate school. I wouldn't put it in elementary school, because first of all, those teachers that teach elementary school, whoa, they're god-awful. I mean, they're horrible. They're, you know, talk about governmentalists, great word. I would probably put it in a graduate school. I would start a graduate school of Austro-libertarian anarcho-capitalists. There are enough professors around, and they could teach this to students. The problem with elementary school is that kids are too young to appreciate this. They're more interested in toys or something, and in middle school, I guess they're in puberty, they're more interested in things like that. In high school, they're too undifferentiated. Most people who are in high school are going to become truck drivers or nurses, or, I don't know, asking if you want fries with that, or they're not going to be what Hayek calls second-hand dealers in ideas. They're not going to be ideologues, namely people who study ideas and promote ideas. Colleges are better, but most kids who go to college, I mean, a lot of them will become chemists or doctors, and they won't be able to help promote liberty as a profession. At best, they can be amateurs. They can't be professionals. The people who can be professionals are people who engage in subjects that touch on liberty: history, philosophy, economics, political science, things like that. But not music or chemistry or mathematics. As important and interesting as they are, they don't touch intimately on liberty. So they're way too undifferentiated even at the college level, to say nothing of the high school level. At the graduate school level, I think you'd spend your money better at the graduate school level, especially in economics, history, political science, places like that, which impinge heavily on liberty. Or maybe journalists. I would focus it on people who affect a lot of people through ideas. Clergy, maybe. Clergy affect a lot of ideas. So I would put it for economists, historians, political scientists, journalists, clergy. When I was at the Fraser Institute, I was very involved in clergy. was trying to convince religious leaders that capitalism and profits are not of the devil. I think that's an important initiative. Well, we got 10 more minutes. I'm supposed to go from 4 to 6. So are there any other questions? Yes?
Well, it's along the same kind of line. Like, we've never really experienced a large scale, like, country converting over to anarcho-libertarianism. We've experienced some small, very small examples. And do you believe that it will ever be able to emerge on a large scale level unless there is some sort of incrementalization? Or why do you think that it hasn't emerged on a large scale level?
Well, let me answer that in 2 ways. First of all, there is anarchy between states. We now have about 200 different countries. There is no world government. The UN is not really a world government. The United States is sort of getting close, but not quite. The relationship between Portugal and China is one of anarchy. The relationship of Australia and Mexico is one of anarchy, in the sense that if a Mexican and an Australian get into a debate, it'll be back to this sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And yet we do have international trade between Mexicans and Australians. We've always had it. We've had law of the sea. We've had judges in 15th, 16th, 17th century Europe overseeing trade between various European countries. So we do have some anarchy. Thank God.
Yeah.
Imagine it was one world government. Imagine that anybody was in charge of the whole world. Well, then you couldn't run anywhere. I feel it sort of strongly because I happen to be Jewish, and we Jews are known for, flitting from one place to another, one step ahead of the police or the czar or whoever it was that was trying to get us, which is one of the reasons that a lot of Jewish people are into jewelry, because, you put all your jewelry in a pack this size and that's it. You can run with all your wealth. And a lot of the wealth is in the head. You take it with you. Why is it that we have such troubles? Why is it that so few people are libertarian? Why is it that there's never been any country that's been really, really close? There have been some countries a little close, but my explanation for this is sociobiological. What is sociobiology? Sociobiology is the theory that we are the way we are now because of what it took to survive 1 million years ago, or a million years ago, or 10 million. I'm not really into the ancient stuff. I don't know how many years, but when we were in the trees and in the caves and when we were sort of apish. Sociobiology says that we are the way we are now because of what it meant to survive then. So, for example, if you were afraid of snakes then, this had good survival implications. Because if you weren't afraid of snakes, you didn't leave too many progeny for the next generation, because you got bit by one, you go, pat, nice snaky, and that's it for you. Was fear of bathtubs biologically beneficial? No, there were no bathtubs. If you were afraid of bathtubs then, it didn't mean that you left more progeny than people who weren't afraid of bathtubs. So right now, we're much more afraid of snakes than we are of bathtubs, even though bathtubs kill many more people than snakes nowadays. Very, very few people die of snakes. Many people die of bathtubs. When Indiana Jones was protecting his jewelry, what did he surround his jewelry with? Snakes or bathtubs? Snakes, because everyone's afraid of them. What I'm trying to do is indicate what sociobiology is. We're still afraid of snakes, because we're hardwired to be afraid of snakes, because our great-great-grandparents were weeded out on the basis of, among other things, fear of snakes. So we are really scared of snakes. You see a snake crawling there, everyone's going to be very uncomfortable. You see a bathtub, nobody's going to be afraid of that. Milton Friedman died of a bathtub attack. He was 92, he slipped in the bathtub, he hit his head on the side, and en route to the hospital he had a heart attack and he died. He was a victim of a bathtub attack. Right? I mean, bathtubs kill many more people than snakes nowadays. I don't think snakes kill anyone hardly. And yet we still got it in us. Okay, now what's this got to do with anything? What it's got to do with is that we are hardwired for explicit cooperation. even as mammals,